So thank you everyone for joining. We're gonna, as Jondi and I have been talking, the process is to build, to kind of give you a foundation last week, understanding the research behind it, and then just kind of try it out, see what it's about. And as we progress, we encourage you to, and we're not going to get good at it. We're not going to get better at it. We're not even going to learn it very well unless we can practice it and try it. So I really want you to practice it and try it. And if we encourage you to do it with us during these calls, just to get the muscle memory. And even if your own mind, if we're working on something with somebody else, maybe your own mind, you can maybe direct it towards something in you that will help you a little bit, just to see how it works in you. So the idea is to now start developing the foundations for how can I help myself a little bit? How can I help those around me with this tool? And I don't want to take too much of Jondi's time, but over the next, we're just going to build on that idea. Here's the foundations. Now let's build on that over the next. We only have 2 weeks after this week, so it's going by fast, and it's going to go by fast. So yeah, let's just trust each other in the process and lean into it. So I'll be quiet for you now, Jondi.
Thank you. So as you can see, we're racing through this, but we're trying to make a very stair-stepped experience. First, consider it, try it out, feel it in your body. Next, let's try it out. We're trying to encourage you to get curious, try it out with each other. And we're just building up in a stair-stepped fashion, but nothing's going to make it stick like just getting curious and using it. So that said, we're going to go into a share screen again. Here we go. And as I fully admitted to you last time, we've got this idea of self-sovereignty of care from you. And so we wanted to go ahead and name it that so that we could embody that concept that was already important to you. This idea of I own my own self-care and I own my well-being. So this is a great part of that. Ground rules again, just saying it. Confidentiality about whatever anybody shares here. Please, the content I'm offering you, share with whomever you want. Please commit to participate, because that's the way you will actually have an embodied experience of this work. And honest feedback always is required. And I used to say tact is appreciated, but I'm just letting go of the tact too. Honesty is really required because I want to be able to help you with whatever comes up, and I have no agenda except to be helpful and pass it forward like we're going to ask you to do. So what have you thought about, or what have you noticed since the last time? If anybody's got anything to share, I'm all ears, love to hear it, because this is the way that you have your own peers talking about the use of it instead of me asking you to believe me. Anybody has anything they'd like to share about what happened, for better or worse or curiously? Okay, well, if that occurs to you that you do have something to say, please raise your hand, let Sean know. I'd love to know. Okay, also I want to know if anybody would like to do a specific demo with me. Again, these are not places where I'm going deep on purpose, and they're not places where I'm digging into your personal business on purpose. It is so I can demonstrate to you, we can use it with each other very easily to get some purchase or to get some positive outcome that we are looking for. And we don't have to know a lot to help a lot, which is one of my mottos for this kind of class. So do we have any takers for that? Anyone? Okay. Well, let's just recap while I'm waiting for somebody to take me up on that, please. We've learned a lot about what our body naturally does, even in adversity or trauma, and why it does that. And we put names and words to those sensations and changes when we do notice events. Excuse me a sec. I have peanut butter. Excuse me just a second.
We can tap on that.
No, hold on, just a minute.
That was a good one.
I'm so sorry. I have some kind of peanut in my bag.
That's all right. We have time.
Thank you.
And as
Okay.
Jondi said, if anyone has something, anything that you don't have to share about it, but if they're willing to work on it, now would be a great time, and we'll use that as a great experience for the group. If one would be so courageous.
Can you share what Deanna said on there, Sean?
Yes, I'm sorry. Deanna I shared with a loved one. Good job, Deanna. They sort of scoffed at first, but agreed to try it out. I have used it a couple times this week with good calming results. Fantastic.
How did you, and you can just type this answer in, how did you even approach the topic, and what did they want to work on? Is that Ndalia once said she would be a volunteer?
Oh, good. Yes, I want to know the answer to that question too.
From Deanna, how did you approach it, and what did you want to work on with them? John, I'm glad to see you're not on the floor.
Oh, me too. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And thank you for telling us that you shared it and it was well received. I was just curious, what did you share it about? Is that talkable?
They're working on, or this is from, yeah, okay, this is from Deanna again. They're working on communication specifically, and just talking about how to diffuse any volatility.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And also we had Dahlia is brave enough to volunteer.
Awesome.
Perfect. Perfect. Then I'll be right back.
Deanna, did they do it? Did they see any results?
Sorry, I have mic now. They did it right away, but that's where it was kind of like they felt a little silly, I think, even though it was just the two of us. Felt a little silly kind of doing it, but I'm like, just take off your glasses, because that was part of the thing too. Take off your glasses and do this. And so once we kind of went through it, then he was saying, okay, I'll try to do that this week if I'm anxious or worried or whatever, because I was saying it maybe won't work necessarily in the moment if something is really upsetting or out of control, but you had talked, Jondi, about doing it throughout the day or throughout the week in order to kind of bring your body into a little more calmness. So I was suggesting to do that.
Fantastic. Well, I do believe that helps a great deal. The idea of training our body or conditioning our body to receive this kind of intervention makes it very quick. It's as if our body goes, oh, okay, we can do that, right? That is what Daryl was saying about getting it into the muscle. It is an embodied experience of it that we can push right back out like a fireman, just, oh yeah, we're doing that. So I'm going to move past this recap because I think we're there. I'm just going to repeat for all of us that the cool thing about it is if somebody says they got something that's going on, all we need is the simple truth to tap with. But if they can't express that, and that's often the case, people can't always accurately talk about what it is. It's just, there's something going on. I just don't feel right. I don't know what this is. I don't know what to do. These are most common things in the world. And this is a beautiful place for you to say, well, let's just tap with that truth. Okay? It's easy, it's fast. And then you deliver your truth, which I hope is, it seems to work for me really well and really fast. Let's try it. No agenda, right? It can also help. This is a side effect that I love the best. It helps get great clarity, especially when you started with where we were just a minute ago. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what this is. I don't know where to start. But the tapping does the work, not our prefrontal cortex, which is what's so exciting about the whole thing. Okay. So let's see what happens from here. A little bit of reminder again, we're not offering therapy. We're not going in depth, not in this model. We are offering support in the moment. That's what we want to tell them, right? Okay, so that's why we're learning this, so we can easily do self-care and peer-to-peer care. And here we go, it's adding tools time. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing without a whole lot of words, okay? But we're starting to add words, right? So last week it was like letting our body experience it while we were tuned in. This week we're tuning in and we're adding a few words, AKA simple truth, or this is just where I'm at, right? Okay, so we are going to have wonderful Dahlia, but I'm going to say to everybody else, because remember, we've talked about this concept of borrowing benefits, right? So you can always get something done for you, even though we're working with somebody else. It's just a wonderful part of, apparently, our mirror function that we have neurologically. We don't need to know though. All we need to do is observe and see if it works. So Dahlia and everyone else, I'm going to ask you to focus on one thing. It can be global or specific. Global was like what we just said. I don't even know where to start, right? Big marshmallowy global place there. Or it can be very acute and specific. This pain in my neck, it's so very apparent to me, right? We're going to measure it. It's always good to measure. So everybody measure whatever you wrote down or were thinking about or were tuned into. It could be big or little, heavy, light. It could be a color. It's dark, it's light, it's green, it's red. It could be sharp or dull, as in a descriptor of the pain. It could just be a 0 to 10 kind of experience. It's like a 4. We're going to choose a title, a word or phrase. And if we can't do that, of course, it's about whatever you've tuned into. If we can't do that, just call it this thing. This thing. Because you're tuned in, you know what it is. It's specific to you, right? And then we're going to tap the sequences as I showed you. Then we're going to remeasure, of course, to see what's left, right? And we'll probably repeat it at least once. And we can use nice big questions that aren't too intrusive, but very open-ended, like, what's that like now? Okay. Together, you're going to decide if we need to do some more in general. And today we're going to do it. Oops. I'm going to leave that page up so you've got the things. Hey, Dahlia, I'm going to put you on camera here. All right. And I'm just going to ask you, could you please let me know what you have tuned into? And you can let me know with a word or a phrase, or if you only want to, you can just go, I got it, this thing. What do you choose to do?
I wrote down on my paper, the letting go.
The letting go.
General, but specific.
I like it. And everybody heard that. It sounds general, but it's specific to her, which is the key. Perfect. And Dahlia, let's have some kind of measurement idea about this. And I'm talking really about the intensity with which you feel this, or the weight with which you feel this, anything that is specific to you about it that's going to allow us to test back.
I wrote down number 6, a 6 for intensity, 6 out of 10.
Very good. Okay. So I've got the phrase that is global to me, but specific to her. I have the amount, which is a benchmark. And now I'm going to tap with the simple truth. And as I have taught you in classic simple tapping, we're going to do it on the side of the hand. And this is where we make the statement. Okay. And the statement is going to be really simple. I've got this letting go thing. Would that work for you, Dahlia?
Yes, and you want me to repeat it after you?
That'd be great.
Okay, I've got this letting go thing.
And then we have the balancing statement. What would a good balancing statement be? Would it be that is just how it is right now?
Sure.
Okay. If you have one better, please supply it. Okay.
I'm sure it'll come up. If I do, I'll let you know.
Perfect.
Okay.
I have this letting go thing.
I have this letting go thing.
And that's just what it's like right now.
And that's just what it's like right now. I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go. I'm focused on this letting go thing.
I'm focused on this letting go thing.
And that's where I'm at right now.
And that's where I'm at right now.
And then the sequence points are always the points on the body, but we just need a piece of that statement. So I'm just going to say letting go.
Letting go
Okay.
is easy.
Beautiful. Letting go. That's where the
Letting
eyebrow
go.
meets the nose. Good. And
Letting
go
go.
across the eyebrow right there to the side of the eye. Letting go.
Letting go.
And underneath the eye or the pupil on the bone. Letting go.
Letting go.
Underneath the nose. Letting go.
Letting go.
Underneath the lips. Letting go.
Letting go.
And underneath those collarbone knobs at the bottom of your throat, letting go.
Letting go.
And I'm just going to cross my arms so I can reach the sides of my rib cage, letting go.
Letting go.
Mhm. I think this time I'm going to do another round, but I'm just going to leave off the directions. Everybody can see us, right? So top of the head, letting go,
Letting go.
letting go,
Letting go.
letting go.
Letting go.
I'm letting go.
I'm letting go.
This letting go.
Just letting go.
Letting go.
Letting go. Letting go.
And the last one, letting go.
Letting go.
And now it's a great time for Dahlia and myself to check in. Everybody else can check in on their paper. Just remeasure however you measured before. Whatever you used, just look at it now. See what you notice. Notice what you notice. No pressure at all. And Dahlia, I'm going to ask you to notice what you noticed. And if you can, tell me anything.
I'm now at a 4, and I noticed that the second round was a lot lighter, and I almost thought it could be fun in a weird way.
Beautiful, beautiful. I heard that. And a lot lighter and fun is something that a lot of people don't expect from, quote, the work, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, we're doing something serious here. It's fantastic to be able to see that, feel that, and reinforce that for them. So I'm going to say a 4 is better than a 6, but it doesn't sound like it's good enough to give me fully that kind of relief or fun I want. So I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to start here because I did change a bit, right?
Mhm.
So I'm just going to tell the simple truth again, which is I'm still working on this letting go.
I'm still working on this letting go.
And it's gone down.
And it's going down.
It's a lot lighter.
It's a lot lighter.
And that's where I'm at.
And that's where I'm at.
So I'll say it again, slightly different because we're tuning in. I'm working on the letting go.
I'm working on the letting go.
And it feels lighter.
It feels lighter.
And this idea of fun is creeping in.
And this idea is fun is creeping in. I'm
That's
just
where
letting go.
I'm just letting go.
I'm just letting go.
That's it. And I'm noticing your whole affect and I'm really loving it. I'm joining you in this and I'm mirroring that back to you too, right? I'm letting go.
I'm letting go.
It's getting lighter
It's getting lighter
and more fun.
and more fun.
And that's just the truth,
And that's just the truth.
right? And I'm going to say this time, another word that indicates we're moving forward. I'm going to say continuing to let go.
Continuing to let go.
Will that work?
Sure.
Great. Continuing to let go.
Continuing to let go.
I'm continuing to let go.
I'm continuing to let go.
Letting go.
Letting go.
Continuing to let go.
Continuing to let go.
Letting go.
Oh, well, I'm letting go.
Letting go.
Letting go.
I am letting go.
I am letting go.
And even though this is just one round, I want you to see these are literally like 15 to 20 seconds long. So it's no biggie to just go. And again, I'm continuing to let go. I'm waiting
I'm
for
continuing
you.
to, and I'm continuing to let go.
There you go. I'm continuing to let go.
I'm continuing to let go.
I am.
I'm continuing to let go.
I'm letting go.
I let it go.
I let it go.
I have let it go.
I have let it go.
I have let it go.
I let it go.
I let it go.
I did.
I really did. I really let it go. Done.
Done.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so, Dahlia, that was a great service that you did for me and everybody else. I'm getting my cursor back here so I can see you all again. But I want to show you and point out to you, every change she made, I tried to match it. Not to mimic her, but to match wherever she was. If she smiled, I started to smile. Just a little bit, not like a crazy amount. I just want to meet the energy of where she is. If she changed her words, I immediately picked that up. I didn't force any agenda or push. Does everybody see that? Because I think it's really important that we are honest purveyors of this task and this tool. Dahlia, if you wouldn't mind, if you would just give everybody a little synopsis of what is this like right now? They definitely saw you, they heard you, and they observed you. But I'd like you to go ahead and sum that up for them. I'm not fishing for anything, but whatever is true for you.
Sure. So I went from a 6 to a 2, and that's huge. I I didn't know, I don't know what I'm letting go of, but I do know what I'm letting go of. So it was specific because I kind of asked my inner self, like, what is it that we need to do? And that's what kind of came up like intuitively. It felt really good. It felt, at first it was serious, it was a serious task, and then just in the whole letting go process, it gets lighter when you let things go. So I physically felt like I was getting lighter, and I enjoyed that you were me. I didn't know you were mirroring me until you actually said it, but I could see your facial expressions as mine, and it was almost like you kind of gave me more of a push to let it go even further without saying much of anything, which was kind of cool because energetically I could feel that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. And so I'm going to riff, with your permission, I'm going to riff on where you are, because I want people to see this is how it's going to move for you. This is how it's going to move for you, giving it to another peer. Okay. Very organically, just like Dahlia did. So Dahlia, I'm going to do one more round with you because I've got what left? I've got a 2.
Right. And I wanted to be authentic with that. I didn't want to tell you it was a 0 and it wasn't a 0.
Good.
So yeah.
Truth is required. It really is. I don't have an agenda past that except to be helpful. So let's do it this way. Let's also notice that the setup statement we're going for has to change because she changed. The stated condition or experience changed. So Dahlia, I'm going to try this out and you're going to help me co-craft this statement and make sure it's right for you, okay? So I'm going to say something like this. You check it out and repeat back to me what's good for you. At first, I didn't know what I was going to let go, but I do know.
At first, I didn't know what I was going to let go, but I do know.
And it's still a 2.
And it's still a 2.
But it ain't a 6.
It ain't a 6.
I didn't know what I was letting go.
I didn't know what I was letting go, but I think I did.
But I think
I did know. I think I did. I know.
Right? And there's a 2 left.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm working
on. There was a 2,
now.
it's a 2 left. And that's what I'm working on now.
Great. I didn't know at first, but I do know now.
I didn't know at first, but I do know now.
What I'm letting go of.
What I'm letting go of.
And there's a 2 left. That's true.
And there's a 2 left, and that's true.
Great. And so I'm going to just use what we've got in the 2 category. I'm going to go this remaining 2.
This remaining 2.
right? It's hard to argue with that. It's just a number, right? This remaining 2,
This remaining 2.
the 2 that's left on this
A
thing.
2 that's left.
It's a 2.
It's a 2.
This remaining 2,
This remaining 2.
whatever's left
Whatever's left
of this letting go thing.
of this letting go thing.
It's a 2.
It's a 2.
Whatever's left.
Whatever's left.
See, I just rolled right back over, didn't I, for another sequence. It's just a 2.
It's just a 2 that's gone to a 1.
And it's gone to a 1.
Look at that.
Look at that. It's a 1 now.
It's a 1.
This remaining 1,
This remaining 1,
I'm letting go of.
I'm letting go of.
It's a 1.
It's a 1.
Look at that.
Look at that.
It's a 1.
It's a 1.
And so I'm just going to allow you to let that, I hope this is not too strange a word to use, but just blossom for you, right? I could say land, but somehow it just feels like this to me. So that word came. Just going to let that blossom in you and be curious about the 1. Ask yourself, do I know or suspect I know what the 1 is about?
I do.
Exactly.
And I'll share that with you if you'd like. The
Well,
1, it's not private. The 1 is, there might be a lesson that still needs to be learned. And when that lesson is learned or when that that epiphany comes, I'll be able to let that 1 go just like that.
Beautiful. And so everyone, this happens often. And what I'm showing you now is how to pick up what they give you and pour it right back into the hand. Ready, Dahlia?
Mhm.
I know what this 1 that remains is about.
I know what this 1. I know what this 1 is about.
I know.
Ooh, I know.
Oh.
I think I know. I know.
I think I know. I know. Okay. And it has to do with a lesson that I might need to still learn.
It has to do with a lesson that I might still need to learn.
Mhm. This 1 is about some kind of lesson I might need to learn.
This 1 is about some kind of lesson that I need to know, but I think I got it, or I
But
got
I think I got it. And I'm just using her words, everybody. I'm not making this up, right? And if I have that epiphany, it can go like that.
I got the epiphany.
Thank you, Talia.
I
And
learned the lesson.
wow, in
Wow,
seconds,
look at me.
I have learned the lesson.
The lesson.
Look at me.
I can now fully let go.
I can now fully let go.
Yeah, fully
And
let go.
And so I think I will.
And I will.
And I pushed that, I admit it, but I think that from this, you were ready for that. True?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so how about a reminder phrase? Should we say fully letting go, or I did let
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
is
Let's
it?
close it out. Let's close it out.
Yeah.
That
Let's
lesson,
close it out. That
that
lesson
lesson I learned,
I learned.
and I can let go
And I can let
100%.
go 100%.
100%. I've let it go.
I have let it go.
Wow. I've
Wow.
let it go.
Let it go.
I've let it go. I'm so
I've-
proud of me.
I'm so proud of
I'm
me.
so proud of me. I did it.
I did it.
I let it go.
I let it go.
I let it go.
I did.
This is huge.
This is
I let it go, and
huge.
this is huge. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank
so,
you. That was so cool.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
And I love that you can show them authentically, because I don't know you. And
Mhm.
yet we could foster a little bit of a connection. We could do the simple truth. We could use just your words. We could tap for what? We've been doing this, 6 minutes, maybe?
Wow.
Maybe. Wow. And your authentic experience is coming through to me, and I'm mirroring that pleasure and that pride. I
Mhm.
feel that coming off you,
Yeah.
but it's all you.
Yeah.
And I'm able to just sit and not sit, but rest with you in this beautiful moment, this
Yeah.
really quick, fast, effective change for you.
Yeah. And I did see when you pushed me a little bit, but I didn't know you pushed me until I actually looked in your eyes, because it was almost like you were waiting for something, but it was almost, and you were holding space, like, okay, are we going to do this or we're not? And it wasn't in an aggressive way. It was like, okay, I saw that you had the epiphany, because I'm sure you looked at my face when I said, wow, I think I got it. And that was pretty cool too, because maybe I wouldn't have done that by myself, knowing it just worked out perfectly.
Aw. Well, I'm really, really, really thrilled about that. And yes, indeed, I think this is part of what you already know and already use in your own work, is I'm looking at my client. I'm not clocking them. I'm not pegging them. I'm being with them and holding the space and presence. And I'm really, really interested in exactly where they're at, because that's all that we have, right? It's their experience, and we're holding that with honor and respect, I believe.
Well, thank you so much. That was great. I do have one quick question. And when you do this work, if you didn't feel like you went down, not in this situation, I mean, I did this tapping by myself over the week. If I didn't totally go from like a 6 to a 0, can I do another round another day? If you've reached a block, is that appropriate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is always about the simple truth of what's happening, right? So in that case, it could be, it's not a 6, but it's something, there's some kind of block. If you have time to keep going, great. If you don't, I'm going to put that aside, right? Put that away, put it aside, come back to it. Okay, let's see, where was I? I was working on this. It doesn't feel like a 6 anymore, but there's a block, and that's the truth. I'm going to keep working on this. There's some kind of block, right? Simple truth of exactly where you're at. Your instincts were right on, Dahlia.
Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Would anybody else like to share your experience of what you saw? Because if I didn't know better, I'd say Daryl has been cruising central casting and came up with Dahlia. So I don't know what to say, except you just experienced what Daryl keeps saying about, doggone it. How did that happen?
Yeah, somebody else should probably do one, so otherwise Dahlia looks like a plant.
Exactly. Somebody's got to speak up.
I don't want to put anybody in the spot.
I don't either, but I sure love hearing their experience of that. So I'm going to ask you to refer to your own sheet of paper. What did you write down? What did you notice? And any answer is fine. You don't have to come up with something you think I want to hear, because I just don't work that way. Anybody? Let me also say this about that, Daryl. Sometimes when we really start tuning in, this thing happens. It gets a little bigger because now we're really focused on it. But Daryl and I can attest to you that it will quickly go down if you'll just go with it. Wow, it's getting bigger. I must really be tuned in now. Or I haven't wanted to think about this actually, but now that I am, it's a little bigger than I thought. I don't know if I'm ready for this. It feels like it's getting bigger, but I guess, and this is what I was asking you earlier today, I guess I could get curious and see if it comes down in another minute. Can I give myself 2 minutes to see if this will help bring that down? Does everyone see this organic, sort of truthful progression of using the tapping to help your body release its information to you and the distress you might feel around anything that's bugging you? Anybody?
What you're saying there, Jondi, may tie into aspects.
Yeah.
Because it presents as one thing.
Absolutely.
But maybe
say more, Joe.
It presents. You want me to keep going? Or you want to jump on that?
No, sir. I would love for you to set that up and anything you want to say about it, because it's important that they hear from you. They know you better.
Well, aspect to, as I understand it, and as I work with folks, there's something that presents that this is the thing, this is what I'm dealing with. And in tapping talk, we work on, like what we did with Dahlia, and we collapse something, but maybe it was being held up by something else. And that's an aspect of this, but it wasn't necessarily the thing that presented itself first, but once you got rid of this thing popped up. And so maybe this thing feels a little bit bigger or a little bit stronger. It has a different presence. And then once we tap that down, there may be something else, but what I have found, and I'm sure what Jondi has found, is if a table has 6 legs, let's say it's a big table, let's say it's got 6 legs, and you can collapse one of them and the table's gonna stay up, and even one of them on the opposite end, the table's gonna keep standing. But at some point, whatever's holding this up is going to collapse. And that's a, if you get to that point, and you'll probably get to that point, it's just a really big moment to see someone move the needle really quickly like that.
I agree. And I think that sometimes it's too fast for people to believe until they experience it, which is why we're doing this embodied demonstration that everyone else can do borrowed benefits on. Because if you don't feel something like that yourself, you might be inclined not to believe that it can happen. And often there's an aspect for you, Daryl. I don't believe this can happen. I don't believe this can change. I don't believe anything will work for me. You've all heard it with your clients and colleagues, right? And so in this way, this is feeling is believing class, right? Instead of just having to listen and hope it works, or trust them, and I may not really have their trust yet. So I keep offering an authentic embodied experience of this. Tapping on the, go ahead.
There was a note.
Yes, Nicole mentioned that, oh, yep, my sound is good. Yep, Nicole mentioned that she's new to this, but she says that her anxiety level has decreased with doing that practice.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So very, very good. Yeah. That's one of the kind of really neat things. Like it doesn't, we say, you guys were saying practice, 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 but it doesn't really take a whole lot to kind of break some of these things down. And I think one of the things I noticed is it's a little bit different than some other, allopathic type approaches, as it's not like you're shoving whatever that thing is, you're not shoving it in the closet to come out at you another day. You're like on the battlefield working through it. You're fighting it through the tapping, so to speak. And I think that's really powerful.
Thank you. I do believe that same thing. And, I told you all, I started working with veterans a long time ago, and that idea of battlefield, struggle, all this adds to the idea that it's going to be really hard to let this go. It's really going to be hard to do whatever it is. These are mindsets, but as you can see, even if your people tell you, I'm an anxious person, I come from an anxious family, that mindset can expand to, so I believe I'm always going to be this way, right? So I'm just bothering to jump on that riff of yours, because during COVID has been a time of great anxiety for a lot of people, and for good reason, right? So you're going to see more and more of that. And so I'm going to just suggest that, just like we did with Dahlia, the idea is, I've got something I need to let go. It was a very global statement to us. We didn't know what it was, right? But we could equally put a global statement of the word anxiety. We have no idea what anxiety is. It's a word that we have agreed to use for a certain set of feelings that are very specific to us. That's why what's that like for you becomes a great question if you have the time and possibility of asking them any questions at all. If you don't, which is what I'm teaching you week 2, is just this, okay, I think this might be helpful if you want to try it out. Do you have 2 or 3 minutes? I didn't ask them anything about what it was, right? And that's the beauty of what I'm offering you in peer-to-peer tapping. First, my self-care, second, peer-to-peer care, third, later, we'll talk about using it at deeper, more complex levels. But the idea is, hey, how big, how much? Show me with your hands or give it a number. Why? Because we want to see and we want them to see change that is in the right direction for what they want, right? So everybody, anxiety, I know, is somebody going to be next to you. If you don't have it, somebody else does. So if you would just humor me, right? So I've got this thing, anxiety thing, and it's this big. And that's how it feels right now. This anxiety thing, it's this big. That's what it feels like to me. I'm just feeling, I don't know, anxiety. And it's this big. And I don't know what else to say about it. That's the truth. This anxiety thing, I don't know, anxiety. It's an anxiety thing. This anxiety. Yeah, whatever this is, I call it anxiety. That's what I'm feeling, anxiety. That's just one round, but of course I'm just making a point so that you can see conversationally, organically, this is just flowing with the simplest of information. I do not have to have a forensic interview to find out what's going on for them. Now is not the time for that. This is a strategy or an intervention in the moment, and that's what makes it so useful for this kind of thing and for that kind of client. Because if they do struggle with that, imagine how good it feels to walk out of your office with a field tool in their pocket of, you know what? Nicole taught me, anytime I feel like that, I do this and I will immediately or pretty soon feel better than that. So in this way, we've done them a solid that they can walk away with and built some belief and trust that you have some great tools for them that are going to make a big difference. Nicole, could you tell me anything about that? Like that thing that you were feeling, did you perceive that it was useful to you just to call it that?
I'm not sure, but I know I do feel better.
Okay.
Actually, after the second round,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a rocking chair and I'm not rocking. In the beginning of the meeting, I was rocking because it calms me. But I'm not rocking right now, so I'm still new to this. So I guess I feel better. I don't know. I
That's fabulous information. Great noticing. And with your permission, everybody, just jump in and let's all get some more work on our stuff, but let's also be in presence, holding a space for Nicole. Nicole, I'm going to use your words right back, okay?
okay.
All right?
Okay.
And if it's too much, you let me know. And you can even turn off your camera if you need. I want to meet you where you are. And I'm trying to achieve a level of comfort for you. Okay? I'm just going to use your words.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say the truth is, I rock to soothe myself.
I rock to soothe myself. Yes.
And I'm noticing I'm not rocking.
Yeah.
That's interesting. The truth
I always
is,
rock. Yeah.
I always rock. When I feel this way, I rock. But I'm not rocking.
I'm not.
Maybe I'd feel better because I'm not rocking. I don't know. The truth is, I'm just not rocking. Not right now. Are we still good to go? Is it okay for me to continue to tap with you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your permission. Okay. I'm just not rocking.
I'm not rocking.
Mm-mm. I don't need to rock right now, I guess.
I don't need to rock right now, I guess. Yeah.
I'm just not rocking right now.
Not a rocking.
I'm not a rocking. Not right now. This is just where I'm at. I'm not rocking. Just not rocking.
I'm not rocking.
I'm not. And that's what I know so far.
That is what I know so far. Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you, because you gave us all an opportunity to once again just practice this very conversational, simple, meet them where they are. No real words but theirs are necessary. Take this off. We're just meeting them where they are with simple, gentle, quick tapping on the body. And then their embodied experience of where they are now as they progress is theirs to tell you. And I hope that you've noticed by now that certain parts of my delivery have changed on purpose, because I want to be as gentle and soothing as possible to the person I'm working with. And it seems to be working pretty well. So I'll probably continue that and continue to move and change as they do. Does this make sense, Nicole?
Yes, it does.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for putting up with the demo position. I know
Usually I don't. I'm really shy and I try to avoid stuff, but I'm really, really interested and excited about this. So
may I just go ahead? I'm departing from the PowerPoints because this is real and this is immediate and it's very personal to this group. And that matters much more to me. So just like you saw me do with Dahlia, I helped her reinforce where she was, right? The current mindset where she now was. I reinforced that. I'd love to do that with you and everybody else in unison. I just say what Nicole said, which is, I'm kind of excited. I don't know how I got here, but it seems to be true. Now I made that last piece up and I'm smiling at you because you're smiling at me, right? I usually don't do this kind of thing, but
sorry.
no, sorry, please. I usually don't do this kind of thing, but I'm kind of excited. This is just where I'm at right now. I'm kind of excited, right? We're just reinforcing whatever you feel, right? And we do it the same exact way. It's just, instead of talking about what I've noticed might be problematic, I'm shifting with your shift to what might be right or going well, right? Huh, kind of excited. That's just true. And maybe that's a big leap. And so I just back it down a little bit and I go, right now, I'm feeling excited. Sorry, it's the next office over with the door open. I'm excited. Excuse me just a second. People, I'm sorry. Can I ask you to close that office door? Thank you. I'm just kind of excited. Right now I am. And that's where I'm at. Right now, I feel kind of excited. As you can see, you're just building on your wins, Nicole. Okay. And that builds our mindset towards what we can and cannot expect of ourselves or do for ourselves. And I think that's really powerful to be able to tell ourselves first and then anybody else we're offering this to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else over there have anything they can say either from their own sheet of paper, borrowing benefits, or they have a question? I hope that you know me by now enough to say she entertains any kind of question. It's all fine. Here comes Daryl.
I just want to encourage folks that we talk a lot about, because this is the Thursday group, but we have a lot of people that are just want to expand their own skills, so they're doing a lot of repeating things. I want to encourage folks. We talk a lot about working with folks, but sometimes it's just for you in your own living room, in your own kitchen, kind of recognizing the information your body's giving you and tapping that down. Like if Nicole, if we didn't do this with Jondi, or Dahlia, if we do this with Jondi, I would encourage you to kind of recognize this stuff and know that I'm not rocking, I'm rocking a lot, and tapping on that, being able to do that for yourself. Dahlia, recognizing where that space was in you and what it felt like in you, and being able to tap on that yourself. It's the same process, but Jondi's externalizing because she's the one asking the questions. But if you get to know yourself better and know the processes better in your body, and really just having this conversation internally, that helps me. It helps me when I do it, and it helps me become a better, I want to say provider, but partner with when I'm doing it with someone else. So yeah.
Thank you for saying that. And I believe that's so important, is I get to know my body's tells. In other words, we talked about emotions and sensations as information. It's incoming, ding, 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 incoming information. And it's always, always, always there to help us not just survive, but to thrive, to make better and better decisions, or to hold us up and go, excuse me, there's something I'm worried about here. I'd like to speak to you, right? This is about getting to know yourself and those sensations better so you can use them. That's what they're there for. And tapping is just the perfect way to continue to use the incoming information. And when I say it's coming down, or we're getting more specific, or we're getting more clarified, those are just byproducts, happy byproducts of the tapping itself. I didn't know anything about what was going on with Dahlia or Nicole. I simply took at face value where they were. And that's all we did. Everything else that I did was a direct interaction and reaction to what they were showing me. Does that make sense to everybody?
Oh yeah.
All right.
In our last just few minutes, and if you have a question while I'm talking here, shoot a question into the or comment into the chat. I'm not sure who was on the other day, but I want you to point. Johnny doesn't know I'm going to do this, but I want to point you to her books that are awesome, excellent, useful. I use them. She signed mine. Take home guides to help how to be a great detective, and particularly for providers. I think if this is a provider group, then I think it's an excellent tool to kind of pare things down and use tools and develop the tools. And if you're in education, or if you have kids, emotional first aid for children, compassion in action. I believe that's her latest one.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the one she signed, and I have it framed, and I made a necklace out of it. But it's on, they're both on Amazon. She didn't know I was going to, but I just want to tell you, these are awesome resources. As you're looking through them, think about how are these applicable to others, and how are they applicable to yourself, actually. That's how she's written, and you can hear how she talks. She writes with heart. She writes how she talks. Anything you want to say about those on top of that, Jondi?
Besides, thank you. And this is just me paying forward everything everybody's taught me, or that I've been able to assemble and embody from the training and wonderful mentors that I've had. And so it's a pleasure to put that together for you. And like you said, the detective book is a resource book. I call it a desk resource book. And it's designed so that you can look through these families of questions. There's like 3 levels of, let's call it sophistication there. And the left page of each page is blank, because I'm looking for you to highlight or circle the ones you like. And then on the left-hand side, write it in your language. Those questions are pretty much in Jondi speak, but imagine what they're going to be like in Daryl speak or Nicole speak. They're going to really match who you are, how you speak. And that's what I had in mind there, so that you can bring these quality questions into your own vernacular or language. And the compassion in action, I just want to point out that that book says that it's about giving emotional first aid to children and teaching them how to take care of themselves. But I think you'll notice that the first whole third of the book is about you. It's about taking care of you using these kinds of concepts, mindset, knowing yourself, right? First. And then the second part is about teaching children. So we talk a lot more about children's development and phases of troubling times, where you might want to do certain things differently because you're in a different time period of the troubling event. And the third bit is about giving this to groups, about being able to talk to other people about these simple techniques. So if I took out the child development pieces, you could use it for anything. I hope that Daryl's given us the opportunity to, in these 4 weeks that we're together, just really learn, take in, and embody the simplicity of the work and see the power of such simple things to meet people where they are. That's our whole remit. But for you to really feel it, for you to feel the power, we just need to put it into action. That's all. And I think you saw today with 2 people I don't really know at all, just how to hold open your mind, your heart, and just say, okay, what's going on, right? And I don't mean you have to be Pollyanna or too smiley or anything else. That's just probably who I am. But I believe that you will find that you can take the heaviest things, and even if you reduce it down to this language, this heavy thing, it's going to be such a relief for you and for them to be able to hold space for that without going into it. I'm not saying we won't do that later if they give you the opportunity and there's something that they have discovered about that they would like to release with you. I'm not saying that that's not important. It's very important. But what we're doing these 4 weeks is learning how to be in the moment and be powerfully helpful to them in the moment. Okay. So I'll shut up because I know I'm late, but I really, really appreciate being able to be with you. And I thank you for that. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.
I hope you guys got the, I know Annie was going to send out the chart, the locations. Hope
And
you guys got
also a little roster. There was a little sort of recording form for tapping simple where you could just write down so you could see in action as you introduce people to these things, right? So hopefully you got that in email, or you can get that out of your handouts and give it a whirl, because next week I sure would love to hear some feedback.
Yeah, please, this week, give it a shot. And here's my email again, dptonemah@gmail.com, dptonemah@gmail.com. And if you have questions about it, if you're unsure of something, shoot me an email. Maybe we'll have a three-way conversation between you, Jondi, and I. Our commitment is that we want you to use this to its best in your life. That's our commitment. So just shoot me an email if you have a question.
Yes, please. And I
thank
put
you.
mine in the chat box too, if you need it.
Oh, cool. Did you do that, Jondi?
I did that.
Oh, cool. All right.
And I think, yeah, yours are probably on there too. There you are. I didn't do that part. Anyway, thank you so much.